And so I'm curious, let's say, for example, there are certain businesses out there that have a little heavier on debt, right? That are eating up their margins a little bit. We've kind of seen that now because obviously, like you mentioned just recently, there has been a lot of valuations decrease just in Silicon Valley, but holistically, we've seen some kind of valuations decrease in a lot of different, verticals. And then obviously also a lot of individuals are heavy on debt because, like you mentioned, cash was very available, loans were very available, et cetera. And that's not good or bad. It is what it is. And so I would imagine there's a lot of good opportunities right now, but they may be a little heavier on debt. When you're looking at doing due diligence and underwriting, maybe they have some potential good margins. Maybe they have a good defensible moat. But I'm just trying to figure out how Michael thinks about a business. Where do you weigh everything equal, or are there certain things in your thesis that you weigh a little heavier than others? How do you navigate that story that the data and the underwriting process brings to you?
Yeah, things are absolutely not weighed equally. We have a very simple scorecard. Some things are weighed 30%, some things are weighed 10%, right? So things that are weighed much higher is the leader. A is the leader. Basically, is there a great leader that we're buying this business with? So we just bought a business a couple months ago called Wathco, and they renovate and remodel fast food and fast casual dining restaurants. So their clients are the behemoths that own Sonic and Buffalo Wild Wings, Chick-fil-A, and all those type, right? It's not the onesies and twosies guy that owns four units. It's the places that own 7,000 units that have to remodel 500 in a year. So we love that thesis. It's non-cyclical. These businesses are always going to have to be remodeled. Projects take 21 days, cost a couple $100,000. It's not a big GC that the project's $3 million with bonding. It's not that, right? So we like it. But the biggest thing that's weighing the most is, do we inherit a great leader? So this leader was willing to stay on board. He was willing to roll over a lot of equity. So he cares a lot. He didn't, if before he owned 100%, now he owns a minority stake. It's not 10%, it's not 5%. There's still a significant stake. So he cares a lot. So huge check mark. The leader that got the business where it's at, it's a leader that's going to stay with us. But then we have other businesses that we bought. The one before that was a business called Connects. The leader wanted to get out. He wanted to retire. He's done well. He's had a lot of businesses, but he had a wonderful GM. So that GM was going to stay on, and he was going to become a great leader in the business, that he was already running the business. So huge check mark. I would say, Christian, 99% of the deals we say no to is that we do not inherit a great leader. And we don't want to go and gamble. We don't want to go and say, it's a great industry, great margins, great competitive moat, great brand, whatever it is. And now we got to go gamble and find the right leader to bring into this culture. It's just not us. So we don't want to deal with that. So for us, that is sacrosanct and very critical to the investment thesis. Another one is the management team. So sometimes you have a great leader, but there's no team, right? And it's just a bunch of doers and not a lot of people that work on the business versus in the business. That's another one that weighs significantly. Different than just a single leader. It's a strong non-owner management team, right? Another one that's very, very critical is do they offer a B2B service? For us, as you know who our investors are, we have 60, 70 of kind of the who's who. These investors could open up massive doors for us. So we own a consumer pool business, right? They build and service pools in South Florida. Our bigwig investors can't open any doors to help us double revenue. Right? Maybe they know one person that needs a pool in South Florida. But when you look at other businesses that are B2B, they can open doors left and right that really helps us scale. So that gives you a little bit of a taste. And then there's other things. They have to be around for 7+ years, double-digit net margins, right? It can't be lumpy earnings. It can't be a business that made 1 million, 7 million, 3 million, 10 million, right?
Okay, so this is excellent. And we're going to be talking about strategic partnerships that you've been able to create with some of your LPs, which I find very interesting.